Okay, so another update has come out for Third Age Reforged. Well, this one isn't quite as big as the last one in terms of new things. Mostly this is to do with making it a little bit more stable and that sort of thing. But we will actually take a look at what is new right now, of which I believe there are only 2 units. There might be 3, I might be missing something, but there are definitely 2, so we'll take a look at them individually, and we'll start off with Gundabad's new unit. So Gundabad now have the Barrow Whites, and they do look a little bit different than they did in Moss. In Moss they were basically just a Nazgul clone, but here they are very different indeed. This is actually what they look like in Moss. This one here, and they also have Azov, but the Barrow Whites are an interesting looking unit. I haven't had a chance to really use them as such yet, but they have very low stats. They only have 5 attack, they have 0 defense, and they have 3 charge. Now that's really, really awful. But they have 10 hit points, and they have a lot of things like they cause fear, and they're vulnerable to missiles because they don't have shields, but that sort of thing. So I'm actually interested to see how they will perform against something shitty like Rohan Spearman. We'll see how they do here. I imagine they will win quite comfortably against the Spearman, because I don't think the Spearman will be able to get through 10 hit points. But we'll see. I want to actually see this now, because they're a unit which seems very, very different to anything that has been in the game before. I'm not quite sure how they'll perform here. Maybe there's hidden things going on, because I can't imagine with the stats they have they'll be useful against elite infantry at all. Like they're going to do like no damage to something that has hit points. Let's see, defeat is a distinct possibility. They're cool looking as well. I like the fact that they're pale and they've got glowing eyes. Fearsome fiends sent by the Witch King is their unit description. Haven't lost a single man yet. There goes the Rohan General. It's an interesting unit. It's another interesting addition to Gundabad as well. I'm not sure you would want to use these guys over something like the Witches, because they do cost 1,000 florins. It's quite a lot, but it's an interesting idea. That's starting to lose some men now. Against just Rohan Spearman. Again, I'm pretty sure that these guys will be very good at dealing with low tier units, how they are at the moment, but as soon as they come up against something with hit points and a decent attack score, like, I don't know, the Marshals of the Red would be a good example of a Rohan unit like this. They would probably get themselves slaughtered. Losing a couple of men. But yeah, the outcome here is going to be pretty clear for the most part. Taking quite a while to mulch through these Rohan Spearmen. Something else that these guys could be used for, I suppose, is if they are unbreakable, you could use them to bog down the enemy for quite a long time. Because 10 hit points does take quite a while to chew through, regardless of what you are, but still interesting. So now we'll move on to another unit. And so here we have some unlocalized placement text. The fearsome warriors from Middle-earth, as they were known. Now, obviously this isn't going to be the unit name. I don't actually know what these guys are intended to be, but I have noticed that these guys are in any faction that has Bjornings, I believe. So maybe this is going to be replacing them. I'm not quite sure. They are, of course, the High Elves, the Sylvan Elves, Rohan, and Dale, and someone else, I think, get these guys. And they are very, very strong. Now, they cost 2,000 florins each, which is obviously quite a lot, but they have 7 hit points, and their stats are also all very high, particularly their attack, which is a score of 40. They can chant, which will, of course, raise the morale of your nearby troops, or is it fear? I can't remember. One of the two. Possibly both. But they are essentially a very, very high tier unit. And they are, of course, shock infantry as well, which means they have high attack and are very strong. Yeah, 7 hit points. That is quite a lot. And considering that they are in quite a few factions as well, could be a unit you'll be seeing quite a lot of when they are, well, they're in the game now, but unlocalized placement text is a strange name for them to have. Yeah, I would be curious to see how strong these guys are. Now, I haven't actually put them up against anyone decent. I just made it so that Rohan have got their militia again. But I would be curious to see, and I will start trying out these new units as well in the same vein that I tried out the old shock infantry, how strong they actually are with regards to survivability, because there are only a few of them. There are only 41 of them, and their defense score isn't super high, I don't think, but an interesting unit. And it gives a bit of power to all of the factions that have them on foot. Obviously, the High Elves didn't really need any more melee prowess, but they have it. The Sylvan Elves also get it, and for the Sylvan Elves, I think this is a much more welcome addition because the Sindar Blade Masters were the only really damaging infantry unit that they had before. The rest, they were dependent on their spears, which they get the job done of killing enemies a lot slower. And Dale and Rohan, they already had some decent shock infantry, but it's always nice to get a little bit more. They aren't really what you would consider overpowered anyway, so a little bit of a buff is always welcome. So that is the unlocalized placement text. I am curious as to what they are supposed to be called, but we'll move on for now. I think this is the only 2 units that are in this patch. I'll have a quick look again to see if I haven't missed anything like an idiot, but other than that, the only thing left to talk about will be a few of the rebalancing things and some of the new stability things that they've added. So having a look through, that is indeed the only ones that they have added, although I did see in the data that there were hunting dogs, and I believe that they do intend to add hunting dogs for Eriador, so maybe I just didn't install it correctly or something, but there's the possibility that the hunting dogs are in at the moment, but if not, they will be at some point in the future. There's something else, in addition to the stability, which will just be something in the background that you won't really notice as such. The stability has been improved somewhat apparently, which is good because it means I may finally get to do some scenarios without it crashing. I have had rotten luck with them. But also within the README you will receive the means with which to make this map playable again. And of course Minas Tirith is one of the best maps that Vanilla Third Age had in terms of custom settlements, and I'm glad to see that it is now available once again. But yeah, Minas Tirith was always a bit of a weird one when the map that you would get when you selected Minas Tirith would be some sort of dwarven mountain. But now, just read the README because there is some folders you need to delete and it will make Minas Tirith playable again. But other than that, that is really the patch 0.86. The next patch is likely to be a little while away because it is going to be a little bit more sizable. I believe the next patch is when they start to intend to split off some factions. So I believe Dol Amroth, Umbar, and Khand will become their own factions. Those are the first 3. I have to be honest, I was a little surprised when I had learnt that Rune would be one of the factions that would be separated off first. I would have thought for sure that Gundabad would be before them, but I imagine that new units will be added to make Khand a sizable faction of it in its own right anyway, so I actually look forward to all 3 of those factions becoming their own things. Dol Amroth and Umbar, of course, pretty much will be fine as they are. And Khand should be an interesting one, because I imagine they'll be a little bit more of a mobile-based faction, being from the east. But yeah, that is this patch. Mostly a little bit more of a lighter patch, this one, in terms of content that I can cover anyway. Stability is, of course, something I can't really show. But yeah, I'm glad that a new update has come out, and I eagerly await the next one, and I hope you have fun playing this, because I certainly am.